Welcome back to another video. I'm Jen Palco. Today I'm going to talk about the type of grief that often does not get talked about. Now, this type of grief stems from more like someone betraying you, or leaving a safe job, or ending a friendship or relationship. Part of us actually experiences almost like a death within us. So grief does not have to be felt only when we lose a loved one. I mean, we know it as that usually because we've all experienced grief in that aspect. But a lot of us are unaware that we actually go through the 5 stages of grief when we have a big shift in our life, or somebody, like I said, betrays us, or we end a big moment in our lifetime. So we all know there are 5 stages of grief, okay? You have the first being denial, then you have anger, bargaining, depression, then acceptance finally. So a lot of us, we're unaware when we experience something in our lives that we actually are going through these stages of grief. We don't associate it with grief because we think, okay, I'm leaving my job, I'm ending this relationship, somebody's betrayed me, or somebody has been disloyal to me. But we go through grief, we experience grief because we feel like we've lost a connection, okay? We've lost the connection from an experience that we had. And in a way, we feel some sort of void inside because we don't have that experience or connection anymore. So number 1, denial. Denial. So if somebody has betrayed us, for example, or, say a husband or a wife cheated on us, or a job laid us off or something like that, we go through a stage of denial. We think it's like surreal. If you've ever experienced, you're with somebody for a long, long time and they break up with you, then it's almost like a surreal thing. Even you've been at a job for 20 years or 10 years or whatever it is, and suddenly you're just let go. It feels surreal. Almost like when you have a sudden death in your family, it feels like it's unreal, and you actually are in denial that this thing has happened because you're looking for that connection, you're looking for that experience, but it's not there anymore. So your brain is not comprehending it. You're not, you can't believe it. So denial, number 1. Number 2, anger, the anger stage, okay? So somebody betrays you. What do? You're angry right away. You're angry at them. A job lays you off. You're angry at the company, at this evil entity. You're angry at, all the corporations now, and it's become like this thing in your mind where it's like evil and, so anger. Anger is huge, and we experience anger a lot of times when we have some big shift that goes on, where we, again, lose that connection. We may even start hating the world around us. We're angry at the world for letting this happen to us. We're just angry. We become angry at ourselves sometimes too. Say we leave a safe job. We start questioning ourselves, questioning our motives. We're like, was this really a good decision? What am I doing? When initially you were pursuing your passion, or, you left the job for a particular reason, but now you're questioning yourself. You're angry at yourself. You're like, this was a dumb decision. I shouldn't have done that. The 3rd stage, bargaining. Now, this is a stage that doesn't get talked about that much, but this is where we make a bargain with the devil. No, just kidding. We're not making a bargain with the devil. Bargaining is when we are using a lot of if only statements. If only the company was not taken over by this other giant entity. If only I had been there more for my girlfriend or boyfriend. If only I was prettier, where, my boyfriend and girlfriend wouldn't have cheated on me. If only I was a better friend. See, this stage can literally drive us nuts. It can drive us crazy in our own heads, because what it is, we're reliving our past over and over and over again, and we're really not getting anywhere because we're just living inside of our head with if-only statements. You realize we can't change anything now. It's already done with. but we're living in our heads, and we're always reflecting or always thinking back to if only we did something different. And this will drive us crazy. All right, the fourth stage, depression. This is where we finally get to a point where we realize or we experience this great big void in our life. So, at first we're denying or we're bargaining, and we're just like in our heads thinking about how we could have done things differently. But now we've come to a point that's a little more isolated within ourselves, and we put ourselves in this very low vibrational state, and we turn inwards on ourselves, and we realize that we can't change anything, and we sit with ourselves and our own thoughts, and it makes us very depressed. It makes us very depressed because now we feel that void. We feel that void. We don't know how we're going to live without this person or this job or this friendship, and it makes us feel very, very bad about ourselves. So this is depression. And the fifth stage is acceptance. Acceptance. This is the final stage of grief. This is where we finally realize that there's nothing we can do, there's nothing we can change. What happened, happened. But now we accept it. Now we accept that it happened, and we can finally move on once we get to this point. So, the different stages of grief, people can experience them at different, you don't have to go in the order of the 5 stages of grief. Some people stay in one stage for a very, very long time. Some people go a little out of order. But the final stage is acceptance. Accepting that this happened, okay? If somebody betrayed you, and there's really nothing that you can do about it now except move on with your life, and you accept that. So we experience grief with things and shifts in our life, and we don't even know it half the time how it affects us. And we don't even realize we're actually going through the stages of grief, and we don't even realize we're actually experiencing like a little death within us. And hopefully this will make you more aware. The next time you do experience something like this, a big shift in your life, something that happens suddenly that feels not so good to you, hopefully it makes you a little more aware, conscious that it is normal to go through these emotions and these stages, and it doesn't just apply to a death of somebody you love. It applies to anything in your life that is some sort of big thing that really affects you on an emotional level. And as human beings, we resort to protecting ourselves and, going through these different emotional changes and transitions in order to get to a place of acceptance finally. And then once we can get to a place of acceptance, then we can start moving on with our life, okay? Not that we need to forget what happened, but we finally realize that we can learn from it and we can move forward in our lives, and it's not the end of the world. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments. If you have not done so, please subscribe. I put out a video every morning. Other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.